I would like to move on to our next part. Also a part I love, breaking down wild trends. So we hunt TikTok, Instagram, all the social media platforms and find the wildest trends. And I would love for you to just comment on some of these. So the first one is hydrogen water versus alkaline water. I feel like there's like a beef between, the two. What are your thoughts? What's the science?
I'm grateful for alkaline water because it led people to hydrogen water. So there was that whole alkaline water trend. People were feeling benefits, but when scientists would isolate for the alkalinity of the water, they would see no benefit. And then the unintended consequence of using electricity to make the water alkaline, it would produce some hydrogen gas. And so the it can't do that consistently. Once the plates get corroded on an alkaline machine, it no longer produces hydrogen gas. It takes like 6 or 8 weeks. But you'll hear that a lot from people where they start drinking alkaline water and they feel awesome for 8 weeks, and then those benefits go away. But because of the chemistry in your gut, the alkaline water is great for acid reflux. It's great for a few things. It can make coffee taste better. Some plants need alkaline water, but your gut is going to change. It's going to correct it automatically. So it doesn't make it past your stomach, and like no measured clinical benefits. And so all the research, the studies are where the evidence is, right? 1,000 studies on hydrogen water, and there's alkaline can't do that. Now, some people like how it tastes. I don't think it's harming you if you like how it tastes, like a coffee additive to make the coffee not so acidic. But the health benefits are not real.
Interesting. How about this one? I just, two things I keep seeing on TikTok. DIY ozone therapy and the hyperbaric oxygen therapy. What do you think about both of those? Are they dangerous, beneficial? Are they fads? Are they fake?
Are people doing DIY hydrogen or DIY hyperbaric?
So DIY ozone therapy I've seen on TikTok, and then just also people are talking about hyperbaric oxygen therapy. So different.
Ozone can be pretty dangerous. I didn't know people were doing that.
That's what I thought too.
I've got an ozone machine that I use for deodorizing the house and the cars and stuff like that.
Okay.
Very effective for killing odors. But it's if you're exposed to it for very long, like when you do that, you have to leave the house, right? It'll make your throat burn like crazy and make you cough. So I don't know how they're doing it. You'd have to be very careful.
Yeah,
I know some holistic medicine doctors that are using ozone treatments. And I think in a setting like that, where you have an expert that's controlling it, it's probably fine. Yeah, that doing it on your own at home makes me very nervous.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was happening.
Yes. And then the hyperbaric oxygen therapy, what are your thoughts? Is that a fad, or do you think there's actually merit in that?
So I've never done hyperbaric myself. The science on it is really sound.
Right. Okay.
There's some pretty amazing things that come from hyperbaric. I'm not sure if it's fully understood, but you can get hyperbaric treatments from the hospital now. You can all sorts of things. From what I've heard, and this may not be true, but some of the lower cost machines that people use at home just don't have the pressure. They can't get up to the pressures necessary to prove a real benefit. Hyperbaric is very, very sound as a mechanism. Like, we all thought Michael Jackson was crazy when he was doing it in the 80s.
Yeah.
It turns out he's just way ahead of his time, right? So, in fact, there was a kid in a neighborhood we used to live in who drowned at the lake, and he was nonverbal. They thought he was going to die and thought he was going to be brain dead, all those things. And they did a bunch of hyperbaric treatments on him, and he went from like totally catatonic, not being able to interact with anyone, to he can say some words, he can communicate, he can look around the room, navigate his wheelchair. So we went from like vegetable state to like paraplegic almost, so that was unbelievable result. And there's, countless stories like that and research like that on hyperbaric. So
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I keep seeing the two. Either someone I do DIY ozone therapy, and then also people talking separately videos about hyperbaric. So anyway, this last thing I want to ask you, also have seen it on TikTok. People with hydrogen infused skincare. Is this next level or is it a marketing gimmick?
I'd have to look at their formulation. The studies on hydrogen and skin are really awesome. Like I said, the hydrogen baths have unbelievable results. We've been working on developing some skincare lines where you will have a formula that you can put on your skin and it'll generate hydrogen near the surface of the skin. I would have to see how they're doing it because you can't generate hydrogen before the fact. So if it's a 2-part formula and 1 part's an acid and 1 part's magnesium base, and they're having you combine those to apply to the skin, it could be legitimate and it would probably work really well. If it's a 1-part formula, then it's fake.
Interesting. Good to know. I'm going to be looking on TikTok for the ones that I've been seeing again and like see what they're trying to do. Very interesting. Good to know. Good to know.
I guess I'll put one caveat on that. You could mix it beforehand if it was kept under very high pressures. So if it was coming in a bottle that was pressurized,
right,
like a little oxygen bottle that you, I don't know,
right.
then it could be pre-mixed and the hydrogen would stay suspended in the solution. But anything else, it would outgas. Hydrogen's the smallest element. It's 1 on the periodic scale, right? So it'll go right through plastic, right through glass. You can't hold it. Like when they fill up the rockets with hydrogen as a fuel, they'll lose 10% of the fuel before the rocket takes off because it's just outgassing.
Wow.
So,
yeah. Very interesting. Okay. All right. I'm going to be scouting these products.